That I want to introduce the two speakers we have today. Some of you might already know Kate and David. Kate Cahill from MEND and David Wagner from BackPack House. So I'll turn it over to you.
We've been around for 37 years, and we have currently 16 pantries in our coalition. We have 8 of them in Newark, so we focus on urban hunger, and then we have another 8 in the suburbs. But the bottom line is that for many years, we're really no longer just focusing on the emergency needs that crop up after fires, floods, medical crises, static events that might send someone to, or some family to a food pantry for a while, and maybe they get back on their feet. But we've really changed our focus to think about what are those root causes and really how to get to them, because that's the only way we're going to shorten our pantry lines.
What I do is very laser focused, a very specific group. It's just South Orange and Maplewood. And basically the Red Party Backpack House program was the first program to come out of Red Party, which basically when we started, all we did was have a party, raise some money, and split the money down the middle and give it to the 2 local pantries. But as it got bigger and more popular, we started to raise more money, we started to look for more creative ways to fight hunger.
How about advocacy? How does that fit in? How does MEND approach that?
That is something that we're trying to get more and more involved with.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that it is extremely difficult to get the attention of any of the politicians in the area. We're always worried that we're not serving the senior population well enough. And then there's the shame component. We just find that the elderly feel that much more deeply than any other age group. So, and then they've also got their own health issues. So, a lot of times you really, can't give them an apple, but you can give them a banana. So, you have to think about kind of your food and what works, physically for them as well. So, and they need a lot of TLC. I think one of the most important things are forums like this, where we share information. For years, food pantries and anti-hunger organizations sort of operated independently. And there was really sort of an unintended silo effect that sort of came from all that. So we have a pretty big need for volunteers, and we'd like to expand that because we don't want to burn out the people that we do have. So we have a sign-up genius now, which we're expanding, and I can share that. Because what we get a lot of, not to go into great detail, but we get, like from Whole Foods and Fair, we get a lot of fresh bread. So we have a set of volunteers that will pick that stuff up on Friday nights and bring it at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. Well, all that stuff has to get portioned.
We don't do anything over the summer because we don't know who they are and where they are. And at one point we were partnering, we had met with someone from the federal government who had the programs, feeding kids on the summer program. But those only work in towns that have a certain income level, and they actually have to have the kids be able to come to some sort of, together at some sort of camp, a site, and they would pay for it. We would have to organize it.
All our donors and volunteers go away, and more of our patrons come. So yeah, and I wish we had a feeding site here.
Where's the need? How do you fight hunger in our towns? And I think it is this kind of open dialogue that, and I couldn't agree more with we give you food, but there is such a root problem that we can't get our heads around. And it's going to take these kind of meetings and talks and effort, really, to just, because we're going to go a little extra than just going to the supermarket buying food. And we got to be open to that.
think if food alone solved the hunger crisis, we would have had one for years now.